Logan's Run. That's right, folks. It's time for a classic sci-fi movie. The staple of movie tales. One of the things I wanted to do when first forming movie tales was talk about dumb sci-fi movies that are either based on books or just weird ideas people had where nobody has any money. Whatever. It's Logan's Run. It's popular. People are aware of it. I don't feel like I have to undersell it. It's Logan's Run. It's very popular. Maybe not like super popular to today's generation. But when I was talking about doing this episode and I was talking with like my mom, she grew up with this movie. She is well aware of what this movie is. So we watched it together and I'm like, hey, that's fun. I can't remember the last time we watched an old movie like this together. And I haven't seen it before. My knowledge of Logan's Run is kind of more through the era of like Marvel and DC Comics where they got like licenses to other properties and they made comic books based on that. I have read the Logan's Run comic book. I think it's Marvel that put it out like around this time or like slowly after that time. That's what I know about this property. I had never seen this movie before, but I was always aware of Logan's Run as a thing. I couldn't tell you what happened in the comic book because I genuinely don't remember. But this movie is just, it's the perfect kind of movie for us to talk about on this channel and this series because it's crazy. It's very metaphorical and just a lot of stuff going on, and I love it so much. I loved this movie. I had such a good time with this movie. Every time we talk about a movie on Movie Tales, I feel like I end up saying, we don't make them like this anymore. And I feel like if we were to make like a modern rendition of this movie, it'd be too action-packed and go too fast. But the point is he's running. We have to see like where he's running to and running from and build a suspense of where he's going. We have to get like the complete physical layout of like how far he is traversing at every single moment. And I feel like this movie does a pretty good job of exploring that. So this is a weird alternate future. It is the 23rd century. And in that time, we have like a Brave New World era of story where it's, you know, emotions are gone and people don't exist in a specific way. Basically, humanity stops existing after the age of 30. When you hit 30 and your cycle comes up, you and all the people of your age and like your generation, you all put on weird hockey masks and robes and you stand in a big circle and a big light will shine down and lift you up and you'll get shot with like a laser and explode and you're renewed. Essentially saying, once you hit 30, we're killing you, but we're taking your life essence and renewing it into a new baby. So there's different generations of the same being, which is essentially them making kids. Our main character, Logan, he is Logan 5. We have a character named Francis, who is Francis 7. We're following the, you get it, like it's the different generations. As soon as we hit 30, it's renewal, it's all that stuff. Old age is a concept of the past. None of these people are aware of it. So keep that in mind that every action being taken in this movie is being taken by somebody who is between the ages of 14 to 28. So nothing is really going to make sense. But that's society. We have Logan, played by Michael York, and this is not our first Michael York venture. He is a fan favorite over here at Movie Tales. He shows up and you're like, you are getting like a 5'4" small guy who's built like he is the skinniest thing. He is so freaking skinny in this movie. There's no meat on him whatsoever, and he's like a leading man with a big face, a floppy head of hair, and is just told, you are the most deadly being in this entire place, because you're a Sandman, and the Sandman are the law enforcement that stop the runners. The runners are the people who are hitting 30, and they're like, we gotta get out of here, I don't want to die, and that's what they do, they stop them from running. Everyone has like a gem in their hand, and as soon as it starts beeping, it means your time is up. And everyone wears different colors based on like their age. So like when you're a child, you wear yellow, you go to red, you go to green, and then eventually you wear white and die, which I guess is like evolution. It doesn't matter. Weird science fiction world where there's like a malicious force that's militant and has taken over. They all listen to a big computer that tells them what to do. And it's clearly so obviously a bad place to live. And York is just like a normal cop. They have like this okay, look, most of this movie takes place in like a shopping mall that they were able to rent out for a month to like shoot this movie in. So there's escalators and abandoned like stores in every sequence. I think at one point you do see an exit sign show up. but that's like the main hub because they're like in a dome and they take like weird rail cars to get all over the place. It's a weird science fiction world. We don't have to dwell on it for too long. The main plot takes place after Logan is in his quarters and he has like a remote control that if he adjusts the dial, he can ping people who put themselves on the server who want to have sex. He pings this woman whose name is Jessica 6, and it's played by Jenny Gutter, who is in An American Werewolf in London. I think that's where she's from. And she's like, I don't want to die. I don't know why I'm here, but I just wondered if like there's something we can run to. Clearly setting up that she's connected to some larger plot going on. But Logan's like, I thought you wanted to have sex. That's why you were in like the machine to have sex. She's like, I don't want to have sex. And then Logan is assigned something very confusing. Like he goes to sit in like a big room and a big screen tells him, hey, we think there's like over 1,000 runners who escaped and we'd like to know what happened to them. You have like this weird like amulet that you found because you took it off like a runner, and you now know what the word sanctuary is because you didn't know what that was before. That's like a place, like a safe haven, a good place to go. Why don't you look? Okay, here's what's going to happen, Logan. We're going to alter your timestamp so you are about to die, and then you're going to pose as a runner. And when you are a runner, you're going to find out what sanctuary is and if there's like connected to like a bigger cult of people trying to escape. So Logan's run is not really like him deciding that there's stuff wrong with society. It's him still following like the militant AI that's taken over society in trying to destroy people escaping it. Eventually, he does learn his lesson, like eventually, once he realizes that there's more to life, because it's one of those stories. It's a story I love and I think works so true. It's classic science fiction. The world is built one way. It fears the idea of thinking in a different way, and as soon as you learn that there's other ways to exist, society itself can collapse and have like free mind and like learn stuff in different circles. You know, like it's one of those. Like it's classic science fiction. Like Foundation, a TV show that's out now, is talking about it. Silo, a TV show that's out right now, is talking about it. Everything's talking about it. Like it's not like a thing that's uncommon to this genre. Everyone is aware of what we're doing here. So Logan uses the help of Jessica again so they can team up because he just figures it out. Like, you're working with this thing. You know what it is. So it kind of goes off the rails from here, but I kind of love it at the same time. We're able to shoot in like this shopping center, so we're there for a long time, and then we like shoot in like a water treatment facility for a bit. So we have this character played by Richard Jordan. His name is Francis. He's like Logan's best friend, and he wants to like fuck him. They have weird sexual tension. I don't understand why that is. He's also like a good Sandman, and he's like, something's going on with Logan. I'm going to figure out what it is. So there's like an initial thing where we see Logan and Jessica try to escape, and they end up in like this weird old facility where there's like a bunch of kids. They're like hiding out, like the Lost Boys Peter Pan style. And he's trying to get like this runner that he's supposed to bring down, be like, hey, why don't you escape now and take us to Sanctuary so we can get out of here and figure out what this is? Francis sees that, not realizing that Logan's undercover. He gets mad at Logan. This leads to them fighting each other kind of with like their weird remote control guns that just shoot a blast. Not even like a laser. It's just like push a button. The pyrotechnics near the location of the person you're supposedly shooting at go off. It's very lame. But I love it. I love it, and I love all the costumes. If you can call them costumes, half these people just look naked. A lot of nudity, too. Like, they escape through a sex room. They run through a sex room where it's like, sex is coming at you. Everyone watch out. Here's a bunch of sex trying to grab you. Everyone hurry. But before that, they end up going to, like, a doctor's office so, like, he can change his face. And this is where we're introduced to Farrah Fawcett Majors, who plays, like, a girl who's part of, like, the resistance for Sanctuary, who's working with this doctor, and it's like, we're going to change Michael York's face so nobody knows it's him. But they've never done it for a Sandman before because Sandmen are evil and the police that we have to take down. Anti-cop movie. I love that. That doesn't work, and there's a shoot-up, and the doctor dies by his own, like, plastic surgery laser. They escape through the sex place. They end up with like all of the runners that are trying to escape. And from there, the movie kind of takes like a sharp turn. It goes from we have to get Logan and Jessica outside of the dome. And that's what they're going to do. So they're going to head through like a water treatment facility where they're going to see fish in tanks and be like, that's weird. And that's going to lead them to the most insane thing in the movie. All this time, by the way, Francis is chasing them. They're going to go to Box. And Box is this robot that freezes things and looks like a toaster. You know the episode of The Simpsons where Homer pretends to be a robot? It looks like that if it had a black man's face on it. Anyways, every time a runner escapes, they get frozen by Box because it's like the last defense system. They manage to escape because they collapse the entire system with all the frozen people and Box in it. They end up outside for the first time, and then it becomes like an Adam and Eve story of Logan and Jessica experiencing outside. Like they look at the sun and they don't know what it is. It eventually just leads to them walking down like roads with like plants and vines. They end up in Washington, D.C. They find the Lincoln Memorial and they're like, that must be one of the ancestors. He must have been very impressive. Why does he look so old? We've never seen anyone over 30. It's really weird, but I also think it's kind of impressive. I don't know how you would play I've never seen the sun or an old person before. Like, I couldn't do that. I don't know how you would do that. So they're doing a good job, I think. That leads to them going to like the Congress house. I don't know what you call the House of Congress, whatever it is. And they find it's Peter Ustinov, and he's like the only old man ever. And they just perfectly cast an old guy. If you just had to say, what are like old guy things? Beard, belly, jovial, kind of crazy. You nailed it. Like you just got Ustinov to do all of that. And he feels like an insane guy who's never spoken to a person in his life. All he has is cats. It's crazy. He's got like 50 cats. That leads to Francis literally chasing them all the way over there. And as the old man is teaching them about like love and like community and old people and like marriage and stuff, Francis comes in hoping to kill his like ex-boyfriend Logan. They're not actually dating, but you know what I mean. Leads to them fighting with like materials they find in the House of Congress, and eventually leads to the death of Francis, who kind of in the end learned that there's more to life than what they've been told by this AI. That's the story. That's the story. Logan's Run's about going against the establishment, man. And they literally like head back after all of this happens to go back into the shopping mall and scream at everybody who's about to like kill themselves to be like, stop doing that. There's a world outside of this. We can live forever. We're not sacrificing ourselves. Renewal is a lie. This whole society is a lie. None of this makes any sense. And the masses just go, whatever, stop it. They just laugh at them. And I'm like, yeah, that's literally what would happen. That's very realistic. It's only as soon as like things go wrong that society starts to realize, oh, this is actually bad. When you can't see like the cracks or the seams coming apart, no one's going to notice. But as soon as literally things are blowing up, you start to notice what's going on here. And that's what happens. The AI captures Logan again and tries to override his system, but the power of love that he learned to have for Jessica, they never have sex. They like skinny dip in the water and kiss a little bit. But we don't see them having sex. But they learn the power of love, and it's just strong enough to literally like break the entire system. So the entire community of this dome meets up with the old man. And they're like, old, 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 old. And they learn a lesson. Don't follow a robot. You can live as long as like you're allowed to, biologically speaking. It's really good. It's a really good movie. The sets are incredible. I think the costuming is impeccable. I love the use of color. And I said it earlier. We would never make this type of movie today. When I was watching it, I was trying to explain to my mom, like, the sequence in which we go to the doctor, explain what's happening with the doctor, and have him sit down in the chair, how we can change the face and stuff like that. If this was a modern movie, this sequence would take 30 seconds. But in this movie, which is under 2 hours, it is taking us 7 minutes. 7 minutes of this movie is in this scene. Like, we are doing this. And it's so interesting. It is so interesting. I am just blown away by it. And Michael York is a guy I can watch do anything. he's just so like little. He's so small. I feel like I could carry him in a knapsack or something. He's great. It's a really interesting movie that is just science fiction tropes coming out all over the place, but working well. You have great sets, great designs, and actors committed to this. It's not cheesy. Modern movies might try to make this a little more cheesy, but it's good and it works. And you buy the romance as like these two people are helping each other. When they actually learn the concept of love, they realize that's what they've been feeling towards each other. Like, that's probably true. So I buy it. I buy a lot of this. Logan's Run's pretty good. I had so much fun watching this. And what's the next Michael York film we're going to do? I don't know. But hey, that is Logan's Run. Check it out. It's a classic Galactic Tales over here, and that is going to do it for this edition of Galactic Tales. Now, thank you all for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.